Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curly Cues. Today I have a fabulous Mint Owl Studio project for you and I am going to be showing you how to use glitter with your stencils. So this stencil came out with the last Mint Owl Studio release in September here just recently, and I think it's gorgeous. So let me just show you the various Mint Owl Studio products I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using that really fun sentiment set along with these super cute little banner dies, and then of course that absolutely gorgeous Christmas quilt stencil here. So I'm going to start by taking my stencil and using it on top of course, a craft card base. So I'm pretty obsessed with craft card bases these days. I can't seem to get enough of them, so sorry about that. So I'm just using some Post-it tape and I'm going to mask off the back of my card. So I've already cut these card bases down to be an A2 card size. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do the stenciling right on top of the card. So it's a nice one layer card, but I don't want anything to get on the back, hence the Post-it masking tape. So I put the stencil over the top and then I just adhered that with a little bit more Post-it tape. And now I'm taking my giant jar of multi-medium matte, and you could really use any adhesive that you wanted to. I just happen to have the big jar of this, so I thought that'd be really convenient. And I am using my palette knife to basically spread this glue through my stencil just as though this were embossing paste. So I'm just getting a nice even coat through the stencil. I'm covering the entire front of the card, getting lots and lots of glue on there, and then going back over with my palette knife and making it nice and even. And then once that's all done, I'm going to carefully peel this up, and you can see that beautiful design that you get underneath absolutely perfectly with the glue. So the stencil is amazing. And now I'm going to use this absolutely gorgeous, like the video does not do this glitter justice. This is the Tim Holtz Vintage Glitter Dust. I'll list the supplies below so you can check it out. But it's like this bronzy gold, but then it's also got kind of some green and red. It's just gorgeous. And like I said, the video does not do it justice. So I am just dumping glitter all over the whole front of this card. So it's only sticking to where the glue was from the stencil. So now I have the pattern from the stencil in glitter. Okay, it's like beautiful. I'm hoping you can tell because of how crazy shimmery it is, like how many different amazing colors are in this glitter. So I peel up that Post-it masking and you can see beautiful pattern in glitter only on the front of my card base. So I'm actually going to do this one more time just to kind of demonstrate one more time how to do this and then the possibilities. So the possibilities with this are just like endless. You could use any stencil you have, any kind of glitter, like so super fun. My mind is reeling right now from all the different things that I could do with this. And if you guys are anything like me, you've got like glitter coming out the wazoo. Like I have so much glitter that I never use because I don't know what to do with it. So I just kind of, I mean, it's gorgeous and I buy it and then it just kind of sits there because it just seems like such a hassle to use it. Well, this technique is amazing. And I just kind of tried this on a whim. And was really pleasantly surprised with how well that it worked. So it worked so good. And now I can't even wait to make like just backgrounds and put your critters in front of it. Like, oh my gosh, just amazing. So this is a really cheap, just really inexpensive glitter I got at Walmart forever ago. I've had it in my stash forever, and it's this bright Christmas red. So I decided to go ahead and do one of these with this color this time instead of doing them both with the distress vintagey glitter. So you can see how absolutely gorgeous that looks against the craft background because everything looks gorgeous against the craft background. But you get this beautiful Christmas pattern, like it's totally like a Christmas sweater. What I'm doing there is I'm tapping over a big garbage can, just kind of tapping some of the excess glitter off because my coffee filter wasn't quite big enough to catch it all there. I noticed a spot that I felt like wasn't quite glittery enough. Look how beautiful that pattern looks. And this is a pretty intricate stencil, you guys. Like there's a lot going on in this little stencil and it still looks perfect. So I set those aside to dry, and then while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and prep my sentiments. So I'm using the little banners that I cut with the little banner dies. And I'm just going to take a couple of these super sweet little sentiments from this holiday banner sentiment set here and heat emboss those on the banners to match the cards that I've created. So I will say that probably next time I do this, what I'm going to do is plan ahead a little bit better, which is not my strong suit, unfortunately, and allow at least probably like overnight for those card bases to dry, or the panels. I mean, you could totally do this on a panel and then like die cut it out or trim it down, put it on your card, whatever. I was just kind of letting them dry while I did the rest of this stuff, and I did get a little impatient. I hit them with my heat tool a little bit, and I will say that it didn't hurt it. Like I was afraid that the glitter would like blow off with the heat tool or something like that, but it actually worked out totally fine. I'm using my antique gold distress or embossing powder. So if any of you have watched like any of my videos this week, this seems to be the consistent thing, is that every single video has this antique gold embossing powder in it. So anyway, back to my story about letting the glitter backgrounds dry. So I got antsy. I wanted to make the video. I waited till the last minute. I needed to get it completed. So I hit it with my heat tool a little bit. It actually didn't hurt it at all. It totally like helped it dry, but it still wasn't quite as dry when I moved on to the next step as I would have liked it to be. I was just a little nervous of touching it and gooping it all up. So if you're going to do this, I would recommend plan ahead and do your backgrounds ahead of time and let them sit for a good like overnight and get nice and set there. So on this gold one, I wanted to kind of make this look a little bit distressed. So I took some vintage photo distress ink, and I'm just putting a little bit of inking right around the edge. So this is absolutely getting my ink pad like all kinds of glittery. It's getting my little foam pad all kinds of glittery. I don't personally mind. I have lots of extra foam pads. I'm not too stressed about it. And that glitter on the ink pad will eventually fall off. Again, I'm not super stressed about it, but just be mindful of that if you're someone who doesn't like getting cross-contamination of any kind in your inks and such. So I just kind of like the way that it looks a little bit more distressed, and that kind of makes the gold a little bit calmer. I think it has a nice finished look to it. So what I'm going to do now is take just a normal paper towel. You can see how sparkly my little ink pad actually looks really pretty right now because it's covered in sparkles. But I just took a dry paper towel and I'm just kind of rubbing some of that sparkle off on the paper towel. And I ended up with not a ton of sparkle left on my little ink, my distress ink pad there. So again, just be aware if you're someone who doesn't like to have extra things kind of on your ink pad. And you could see how gingerly I was folding that card base. I decided with this one just to go for it. I'm like, you know what? If it's not dry, it's not dry. And I guess I goobered it up. But it was actually dry enough. Again, I would have liked this to have sat a little bit longer just so I was feeling a little bit more confident about putting my fingers all over it. But it still worked just great. And I mean, this probably only sat for maybe 15 minutes. So I think definitely give it an hour or an overnight and you'd be totally fine. Like this multimedia matte dries pretty quickly. I did not fold my card bases correctly. I don't know what my deal was. So I ended up having to kind of trim those a little bit to get them to fit. So just a word of warning on this particular technique for you guys when using the glitter. Glitter is gonna fall off. So I know there's some glitter techniques where you can like burnish it in with your finger or your bone folder or something, and your glitter won't fall off later. You could like send it and they wouldn't open the envelope and have a bunch of glitter in there. I don't think it's going to fall off to the point where you wouldn't have glitter on your pattern anymore, but you're definitely going to get some loose glitter flakes with this particular technique. I didn't want to burnish it down or try to do that because I actually really liked the texture that it gave me using the multimedia matte through the stencil. This is actually kind of raised on the front of this card base, so in addition to being super glittery, it's also like really textured, which I think is really pretty. So I wanted to leave that there. You could try to burnish it. I don't know how well that would work because I didn't try it. So I just want to be honest and upfront with that for you guys. So I went ahead and popped the little sentiment banners up on the top of each card using some foam tape. And now just to kind of calm the glitter down a little bit, I'm going to use some sequins, which you'd think normally adds the bling, but the glitter is so sparkly and these sequins are a little bit more matte. And I think it just kind of gives you a little bit of a grounding spot to draw your eye, so you're not quite so like overwhelmed by the glitter. So on this red one, I'm using some marshmallow sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. So these are just white sequins. Really super cute. I thought it matched the little white sentiment that I used on the banner. Just kind of tied that in and made it just a sweet little holly jolly. I don't know. The red on the craft, like in real life, guys, it's so pretty. Like I really wish that you could get sparkle and shine and shimmer and glitter and all that stuff, like that you could really convey it the proper way through a video, but you really just can't. Even the still photos, you don't quite get the full gist of how incredibly fun this is in real life. So I did that, and then on the gold one, I added just a few little red sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. These came out of the Holly Jolly mix. I'm not exactly sure what the red color is, but it's in that little Christmas mix, and I just put just a few. Again, I just wanted a little something to draw your eye away from all the gold sparkle on this card. And that's it for the cards. So the background is really the star of the show. Just another way to use your stencils. Mint Owl Studio has some pretty amazing stencils out there, so I cannot wait to try this with all of the different Mint Owl Studio stencils that I have. Look at all that shimmer and shine. I just love it. So there's a good close-up of the red. You can kind of see the texture. I was talking about how it's a little bit raised. And then that super pretty vintage distressed gold glitter there on that second one. So thank you guys so much for watching today. All the supplies used are listed below and over at my blog. Check out the description box below for links to Mint Owl Studio and to join me on my blog, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Thanks, guys. Bye.